What's up guys, thanks for tuning in to today's episode of Custom Car Reviews. I'm your host Gabe, and today we have a very special episode because we're going to be reviewing this 2015 991 GT3. Now before I begin the review, I want to introduce the owner of this car, Bryce.
It's me again.
So Bryce has been on the channel multiple times. I think about half of my reviews are with his cars. Bryce, first thing I want to say is, damn.
Thank you.
Before I begin the review, we're not going to go into too many details, too many technicalities here. There's so many things to cover on this car, and a lot of great YouTubers get in depth. So the 2015 991 GT3 comes with a 3.8 liter flat 6-cylinder engine, which by the way I think is the best sounding 6-cylinder in the game. 475 horsepower and about 325 foot-pound-feet of torque. And you know, this car sends 0 to 60 in about, I would say, about 3.1 seconds. Porsche,
that's what they say,
yeah, Porsche claims that
when it hooks, your skin just feels like it's like putting out.
I cannot wait. Let's get an exhaust clip of this. You do have the Sharkworks exhaust, so
it's basically like a rear muffler delete. I still have the side mufflers on, but I took out the valve, so it's always loud.
So let's go ahead and get some revs on this. So there is a rev limiter up to 4,000
when you're in park. Yeah.
When you're in park.
Yeah.
So I do know that you can actually put this on neutral while it's driving and just rev the crap out of this thing. So we're gonna do that as we drive. To go over some of the key factors before, this has 475 horsepower, and you know, on paper that doesn't look as impressive. You have the 2015 Z06 that has 650, and this dwarfs under it. You think, well, I mean, where's the horsepower? But you know what? Porsche does it in such a way that it's literally irrelevant.
It puts it down, that's what it is. Like it puts it down perfectly. It's engineered perfectly.
That's why, and you have to remember too, the PDK transmission that this car has. Everyone knows the PDK, everyone wants the PDK. The fact that this car is able to put that power down so well and just beat cars, you know, almost twice as much power, it's ridiculous. And you know, it really does show that this is kind of like the underdog, but not really. I mean, more on that note, this is a pretty serious car. I mean, the Nürburgring times are about 7 minutes and 25 seconds. You know, it's from different sources, it's definitely under 7:30. Let's focus on this actual car itself. I mean, this is complemented with such a beautiful racing yellow color, and dude, it's just so like eye-catching.
It's like, I feel like if you get a GT3 or a car like that, you need to have a kind of color like this, and I want it to be ridiculous. Like, who does this? Who has a yellow Porsche that makes that much noise?
Who is that man?
Yeah.
And of course, this has a wider body than the traditional Carrera S, and you really notice it in the side of your mirrors here. Like, you really do appreciate it. And let's not forget that huge wing on the back that is fixed. It's mounted onto it.
I love seeing it in the rearview mirror because, like, like you remember that you're in something special, and you like half the cars are like blocked off because of the wing.
Yeah, it obstructs half of your vision, literally. And up front we have the nice 3-piece mesh bumper that's specific to the GT3. You know, allows for more airflow, good for feeding some air to the brakes when it gets really hot on the track. And in the back too, we also have 2 ducts on the side of the bumper to really allow that airflow to channel out. I love that center exhaust. You know, it really does feel like a race car. It's coated in black, so it really does like complement the black and yellow color scheme going on.
I wish they were a little bit bigger though. I might buy
an actual like
100mm tips, and they'll like they stick out like
Now the black rims on this car are specific to the GT3, and you know, they just are so cool. And you know, underneath the GT3 style rims are these huge carbon ceramic brakes, and like the carbon ceramic disc system.
They squeak a little bit, but it's part of the experience.
It's part of the experience of a race car, honestly. You've told me before that people have actually returned the car because they hear the squeaking and they're like, bro, my brakes are broken. It's like, no man, that's part of the experience. You're
gonna see when you start driving it, you hear everything. Like, you can hear the exhaust banging of like the rear center, and the car you're gonna see, like once you put it into drive, it feels like it's like falling apart.
So the setup is staggered with the wheels, 305s in the back and 245s up front. What factory tires do these come with?
They come with Cup 2s, so they're basically slicks for street legal
street slicks. Oh my god.
So it's not recommended to drive it in the rain. Like it says, if it starts raining, pull over.
Moving into the interior of the car, you know, Porsche has always been, you know, an exceptional car manufacturer to make with their interiors. I mean, it's superb. I've always been a fan of how organized the center console is, and you know, all the button placement. And this one in particular is kind of weird. I'm not sure if this is actually a factory or the previous owner did this, but they put a yellow matching to the paint color outside, and at first it's kind of like tacky, but then you start to grow.
Yeah, you grow into it.
Yeah, it grows on you. Of course, you have the yellow stitched seat belts here. Looks super nice. Unfortunately, the stitching all around the car is white. It's not yellow.
That would have been good.
That would have been awesome. Like the badge here. Yeah, that would have been awesome. But you do have yellow pieces on the tachometer and odometer and speedometer. You know, you have those little yellow parts. And then also you do have the Alcantara pretty much everywhere. Except the steering wheel. That would have been nice too.
Actually, no, I don't really like Alcantaras. They look good, but I feel like in Miami, like your hands are always sweating. So.
Oh, and it smells bad afterwards. You have to maintain it.
Yeah, to maintain it, yeah.
I guess. I know what you mean. I know what you mean there. Also, one of the coolest things about this car, like unlike most, you know, Carreras, is the fact that there's no rear seats. I mean, there is, but there really isn't.
Yeah,
I mean, it's hard.
It's a bench.
Yeah, it's essentially a bench. But they were nice enough to actually put the GT3 stitching. So hypothetically, if you did have some very brave friends that were back there, they would know that you're in a they know that you're in a GT3. Speaking of the bucket seats, these are really comfortable too. They're a little bit
on the hot side, but
yeah, but they're definitely
they put you in place. Like
exactly, they hold you in place.
Yeah, they hold you.
So, what are you thinking about doing to performance-wise? Are you planning to change anything aside from noise?
No, because like Porsche is already like the car is so pushed by Porsche that even a tune gives you like 10 horsepower, which is you're gonna pay all that money, void your warranty. That's
another thing I was reading up on. This car has a 10-year or 120,000 mile warranty. So many people were having problems that the engine would literally just explode. So is that something that's gonna happen today? I hope not. But if it
I kind of hope it, because I got a brand new engine. And
so I have your consent to this car up.
Do as many red lines as you want.
You got this on camera. You got this on camera. So the GT3 name comes from the FIA's GT3 classification subgroup, and just by having that name, you already know that there's going to be some high expectations set on a car named after that. Does this car meet those expectations of a high performance car like the GT3 subclass? Let's find out. So something really cool about this car that not a lot of cars like the Z06 would probably have is that this has a directional steering of the rear tires. This is a rear wheel drive car. And so what that means is basically that the rear wheels at low speeds turn in the opposite direction of the front wheels, and at high speeds it complements it and drives along with it. Let's try it at low speeds, just how good the turning radius is.
There you go.
Dude. Bruh. What is this?
Try with your camera and see to do a comparison.
No. So let's get this car really above 5 miles per hour.
Yeah.
I really like how you actually have to give this car some gas. It really kind of makes it feel like it's a manual car. Of course, lightning.
The trick is that you don't actually have to press it all the way for it to switch gear.
I mean, these are not like, these are nice paddles.
They have a certain resistance to it.
Yeah. Let's just take a really quick minute to appreciate the yellow right now. Oh my god, it is popping. So let's do our first pull of the day. What the?
Bye.
Oh my god, dude.
Heaven.
It's like Mozart or Bach just like came back to life, composed the soundtrack for this car. One of the key factors of this car is that it allows it to really rev up to 9,000 RPMs. That's insane.
Yeah. And it feels like it's never ending.
Alright, so let's go ahead and test out that 9,000.
475 HP doesn't like I guess it's impossible. It's like it feels underrated as fuck.
So we're gonna take a quick corner. Of course, one of the great things about this car is that it corners superbly.
Super flat.
So let's take it at, let's say, 50.
Oh my god.
Oh wow, it is so planted.
Then you can take a lot more.
Oh my god. Wow. I wouldn't even think about doing that in any other car.
The G's.
This is the GT3, so it's a little bit more reserved. It's kind of like the more conservative brother of the GT3 RS. So it's more, yeah, kind of like city made. You know, it's something that you can use. It's not as crazy and raw as a GT3 RS. So when you're in traffic, you do obviously focus on a lot of interior stuff. This car, as opposed to a lot of track focus and race cars, comes with a lot of luxury features. For example, it does have a GPS, so you know, when you want to go to the racetrack, you got to know how to get there. It does have AC. A lot of cars strip out the AC, and it does have a lot of other comfortable luxury features that, you know, a traditional 911 might have.
I mean, the best feature has to be the lift system. It has helped me like so much just to like get through stuff.
One of the things that I really like about this car is the capability of launch control. Let's try it.
Damn.
Okay, we were a little rushed there. We'll do a formal launch control system and explain the procedure, but really there is no procedure. It's really just brake.
Yeah, because really on some cars you have to take out traction control, put it in a certain gear, put like it's impossible sometimes in some cars.
Take this turn very nicely.
Yeah, it's like it wants more.
Yeah, you
like,
feel that. Like it really says like, I can do more, bro. Like bring it on. Let me do another pull right now. I just can't get over that. Brakes are super stiff, but I see where the carbon plays out. So we had to do a sudden brake, and again, these carbon ceramics do not fail.
You brake and it's like, you're like, oh shit, and then you're like, no, it has so much space anyway.
Carbon ceramic brakes, they're ideal for the track and for this type of car, because this is a track focused car. I mean, this is really just like a everything car, like drag, everything.
Yeah, because like surprisingly in a drag race, they do pretty good.
0 to 60 is faster than the 2015 Z06 by 0.2. So that's pretty significant. Yeah. And on the quarter mile, this thing does 11.7 or so. Kind of like high 11s. I mean, again, ideal conditions. You know.
You hear those brakes?
All right, so launch control is simple. Brake, accelerator. There needs to be like a disclosure, like people that have weak heart conditions, like please don't buy this car. Like you will, this is literally a roller coaster.
Yeah.
So let's try with the automatic PDK. Let's let the computer do the work. Not as exciting, but again, super accurate.
Yeah.
So remember that feature about you can being able to do the neutral at high rev? Why is it that you went from a Z06 to, like why a GT3? Why not?
Because I felt like the Z06 was too daily powerful, and it defeated the purpose of having like a sports car. Because like, you could take the Z06, drive it on the highway for long periods of time, and it felt too smooth.
All right, well, all good things come to an end, unfortunately.
Not for me.
This was definitely a really awesome experience, and the sound. This literally kind of sounds like a race car. It does sound like a race car.
Like when you go to Homestead Speedway and then you hear them passing by.
It's crazy how, you know, how this car encompasses all of these numbers and all of these, and just puts it down, and just at the end of the day just makes it so easy and just fun to handle. I mean, dude, I'm not an experienced driver, and I was taking those corners like...
I mean, I'm sure an experienced driver can take it much faster, but this is like... We couldn't do it in the GT6, we couldn't do it in your car, we couldn't do it in the FOS. The FOS would have crushed. Like,
this car generated the confidence and also actually gave us result, and that's exactly what you want in a car like this. I mean, the name GT3, you know, it's inspired off of a racing class. I mean, this car has to be a good car, and it is. Dude, thank you so much for letting me drive this car.
I didn't want to let anybody drive the car for a bit, but like, I don't know, like it's been 2 or 3 months, so then you chill out and you're like,
Nowhere did I feel like this car that I was gonna lose control. Nowhere did I feel like I was going to.
No spinning, no.
So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed driving this car, and I hope Bryce enjoyed getting his car reviewed.
Like it's not often you're on the passenger seat of your car, so.
Yes, so it does shift perspective a little bit. Is this the best car that you can get for $160,000? Let me know in the comment section what you guys think. Don't forget to like, because that helps a lot, and don't forget to subscribe, guys, so you don't miss any of my vlogs, any of my reviews, any videos that I post up. But guys, thanks again for watching the video, and have a great day.